There's always a hope. Rise and fight.
Oh, hello everybody, welcome to Bombastic Starleague 2 versus 2. We got some pretty big names that, you would really bat your eye at in 1 versus 1. This, of course, is 2 versus 2, so it's a totally different game. Nonetheless, players like Ziki and, Bonith, in any game mode, you have to expect them to be at least decent, right? But yeah, we're gonna have a bunch of 2v2 games. I honestly don't know who's gonna win, because 2 versus 2, like, it's so different, and we don't really see as much of it. So, like, really, we could have some sick 2 versus 2 team come in and just mop the floor with everybody that we haven't seen before.
Are we live?
Yeah. So,
okay, so our first game. Who's our first game here, vODdy?
well, I mean, we got Izu and Wave. Now, Izu, I've actually played against him in 1 versus 1.
Yeah.
I don't know how, like, I haven't played him in 2v2 though, because I just haven't gotten around to that yet, but I'm assuming that's going to be our first game because it's at the top.
Yeah. So it's gonna be Izu and Wave against Andy and Biggie. These guys I know very well. I know all of them by their first name, except for Biggie. Biggie I don't know as much, but yeah, Izu's a 1-on-1 guy, but he's also a 2 versus 2 guy, and a very good 2 versus 2 guy at that. He's a Zerg player, very strong, and his ally is Wave, who's a Norwegian player. He's Protoss, so they're a very strong ZP team. I would say they're probably one of the stronger ZP teams in the tournament. One that can probably contest the likes of Bonith and Ziki, definitely put them in high regard. And then their opponents are Andy and Biggie. Andy, Canadian player, very old school Zerg 2 versus 2 player. 2 versus 2 is his forte. He lives and breathes 2 versus 2. Andy, very strong. And his ally is Biggie, who I believe is Korean, and he lives in USA. Don't quote me on that. He might be in Canada as well, but his ally is Biggie. And it looks like he's random, actually. So also very strong team. This is one team that I also had could be giving Bonith and Ziki a lot of trouble in this tournament. So this match actually is probably, all the matches today are going to be like super competitive, but this one is close to heart, at least for me, because I play with these guys on a regular basis. So yeah, a little bit of a download for those of you who do not know as much in 2 versus 2, that's a little bit of background.
Yeah, and as far as the game mode itself is concerned, we see a lot of random players here, right? And it's actually quite common to use a random in 2 versus 2. I would say one of the most conventional teams actually is like 1 Zerg, 1 random. And some people we can go double random.
Yeah, like Kenzie in the next match tip for today after the first match is random with a Protoss ally. So we have all different types of mixes here, but yeah, random is kind of one of those races that if you're confident and well-rounded in all 3 races, random could be good because it gives sort of that unknown that a lot of teams might not be as prepared for, because obviously if you're random, you don't know what they are until you scout them. So adds a little bit of a different dynamic in 2 versus 2. But yeah, first game in this best of 3 is going to be Paradiso. So Izzy and Wave against Andy and Biggie. Zero saying we're ready. So vODdy, unless you're
all right.
All right, let's get into it. Did I see that right, vODdy?
Did you, what? Yeah, sure.
I saw some comment there that said, "Are you a hacker?" But I guess we'll just let that pass. We have
okay.
a little bit of commentary between these guys as this game starts. We have Izu, top left position, red, Zerg. He is from, where is he from? He's from Czech Republic. His ally Wave, Protoss, purple, bottom left position, our Norwegian player.
Yeah, so we did get the classic Zerg Protoss team. Of course, the other team had a random, so Big down here, spawned as Protoss, the opposing team doesn't know that yet. And his team, of course, chose Zerg, so it's gonna end up being a mirror match. Zerg Protoss, a classic team, the other one being Zerg Terran. Usually people stick a Zerg on a team, most of the time.
Right.
Left to right, Zerg Protoss mirror, so for people not familiar, like, most likely the Zergs are both going to go Mutalisks, Zerglings into Mutas, that's the standard way to play. Having said that, you don't really know if the Protoss is going to go Reavers or straight to Templar. We see him like typically having a 9 speed here from Izu, and of course keep in mind he doesn't know what the racial makeup of the opposing team is, so 9 speed is like kind of like a general builder I would say in 2v2 you can go for.
That's right, yep. Being that the probes both elected to do early scout, they know now that it's a mirror matchup here. So, yes, absolutely. Oftentimes you see the Zerg go layer, and we're going to see.
Oh, actually, it's not going layer, yeah.
Yep.
How they know.
Yeah. So both Zergs, as you said, they're gonna both be taking up to layer. I guess the question is, which Zerg is going to make Zerglings or more Zerglings than the other, and which one is going to invest into speed. Ling as well, because that is 100 gas. It's going to take away from your ability to produce Muta. It looks like both Zergs are electing to get that speed and continue making that Zerglings. So usually this tends to play into sort of how they are efficient with their units, what they do, what openings they can present to do some early game harassment.
Yeah, so far it's a complete mirror, except it looks like one of the Protosses, Biggie, has actually chosen to get gas, whereas Wave has not. So that's the first divergence point here, I guess. So maybe, you know, the red team, I guess we can call them that, they are using Wave, maybe gonna be a bit more aggressive, because they're not taking as quickly.
Right, yeah, that means Wave's going to have more Zealots. The question is, what are they going to do with the Zealots? It looks like Biggie managed to get a Zealot into Wave's main. I could be seeing that wrong on the mini-map. Yeah, there is a Zealot, indeed, in Wave's main. That is pretty big. But all red units streaming across the mini-map here towards the blue Zerg in Andy. Andy is pulling forward a little bit. Biggie's got some Zealots in the middle. Wave doing his best to try to defend against this, but big fight going on in the middle here.
Oh, actually, with the speedlings, these Zealots cannot run away, so that's a really big deal.
Right.
They're going to get punched. Okay, some Zerglings coming in to help now, so a little bit more of an even fight. We've got more Zealots there from the red side, so...
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. Looks like...
Yeah, more Zealots from Wave. Looks like Wave did a little bit better in terms of engagement. Wow, Izzy does a really good job of peeling off 2 of those Zealots from Biggie. All this action going towards Andy. Andy makes 2 drones.
Well, that's a really ballsy play. Now, obviously, the reason that the blue team, Biggie and Andy, have fewer Zealots here is because they chose to counterattack with a few of those to the bottom left. Now they're paying with that for that here, having to defend like this. The goal here, like the dream, would be to take out the Spire, but I don't think that's going to be realistic, so they might have to set up for some drones. They're going to choose to go for it, though, against a sunken colony.
Yeah, they have to go for it because there are 3 more Zealots coming here for support, but like you said, ideally you can get the Spire, but if you can't get the Spire, you gotta go for the drones. Looks like they peeled off at least 2 drones there. Not the best trade, I would say, but good in terms of how long the drones haven't been mining and able to pick off a few of them. So actually not too bad now that I'm looking at everything. Andy had 8 drones versus Izu's 10, and Izu doing obviously a better job of expending that gas. Now that his Spire is up, but now that that trade-off happened, Biggie's got more Zealots, and now blue units are starting to stream towards himself because Wave is creating a lot of distraction with these Zealots. Biggie's starting to make goons now. Izu going down the map for with his mutas to look for that Ovi. Looks like Andy's gonna find Izu's Ovi here, but he's made Scourge instead. So yeah, Izu. Critical spot here. He's gonna have to harass down these Scourge. Obviously, he's gonna have more mutas in this spot. Really good micro here.
Okay, so he took a few hits there, but overall the micro was good enough. Now I expected him to attack the other Zerg immediately because they hurt the other Zerg, which means obviously he's just gonna have like a mutalistic advantage, right? Which he does. But instead he went Overlord humping. Nonetheless, though, he might get to use that advantage now and actually straight up kill his opponent because the Dragoons from his Protoss ally are far away. They may not be able to help.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, I think Andy's was a little bit rushed there, not realizing that Izu's going to have more than enough mutas to deal with the Scourge, and he's going to be able to abundantly win air here. Andy doing his best job here to micro. Got one muta, one Scourge lands. Here comes Biggie with some goon support. Biggie picks off a drone.
Nonetheless, yeah, so one drone, I think, should be the get. Okay, has to run out from the Dragoons. Now, this is interesting, though, because, like, are there enough Dragoons at home also to defend from this?
Right.
Maybe, like, a few about the pop. I'm not sure, but that could be a target, potentially, to go for the enemy Protoss.
Yeah, and it looks like Izu's starting to posture sort of into the middle of the map. Certainly when you have this much of a muted advantage, you feel a lot more freedom to go anywhere you want, especially when your ally is giving you a nice chunky part of his army as well for defense. Yeah, if I'm Izu, I'm thinking probe line. I'm thinking I'm making a beeline to Biggie's probe line.
Right, now, okay, so at this point there are several Dragoons there, sure, but like, at any point, if the Protoss, I mean, if Andy and Biggie decide to move out, you can always counterattack the Protoss, right? If you have that mutalisk advantage. Now, I guess if you do that, then the enemy Zero could also counterattack you, so it's a little bit of a strange 2v2 back and forth in that sense, but just scamming out the opponents.
Absolutely. You see how Izu constantly is sending lings here to see where everything is. Right. Now it looks like Wave is starting to... Wave needs to combine his army. It looks like Biggie is starting to go out onto the map and having ideas to consolidate. But if I'm Wave, I'm thinking, this is only 30% of my army. I have a big chunky army in the back. Why are we fighting with just 30% of my army? But looks like they're going to at least be able to... Okay, now this reaction from Biggie is going to actually think, okay, Wave's army is out. I'm going to hit Wave, but this is only 30%. This is only the tip of the iceberg for Wave. Biggie's going to have absolutely zero opportunity to attack Wave in this spot. And now they're getting so much value up top here. Now Biggie's going to see this giant army from Wave just sitting and brewing inside Wave's main. So many goons, so much pressure on Andy here as well. Really good calculation from the red team. Extremely well calculated in how they allocated their armies here. But yeah, this is going to be way too goons.
Pure tactical victory here, like when to go where, you know.
Right.
Like that's really all this came down to. And like obviously, when you're trying to counterattack up a ramp, ground versus ground, you know you've been outmaneuvered, you know.
Right.
As your allies dying. Only really the Mutalisks are good at counterattacking, because obviously ground to ground, like the high ground is just too strong.
Yeah. So GG in for Andy and Biggie, and Izu and Wave are going to take game one. Really nice play. Yeah, to your point, mirror matchups, ZP versus ZP, it tends to play that kind of style where if you're not going to engage in the middle in this all-out huge fight, it's going to be very countery, right? There's going to be a lot of counter situations. There's going to be a lot of bluffing, stunting situations. In that case, you know, I almost consider that like a bluff because they were pushing the north side towards Andy, who was a weakened Zerg. But that was only 30%. That was only the tip of the sword, tip of the iceberg, whatever analogy you want to use. And they were able to get the damage done that they needed up top, and for Wave to have the bulk of his army at bottom to secure his own main. Just absolutely well done, and yeah, really good teamwork there. Yeah,
for sure. Now we'll see what Lacey gets next time, because I mean, you could get Terran and everything could change, right?
Yeah, I'm curious if our random graphic is correct, if he is playing Protoss or if he is indeed sticking with random and just rolling the dice favorably for him. He is a Protoss player as well. I wasn't surprised to see the random, but I have seen him play more Protoss recently on the ladder, so I'm thinking maybe he switched gears to Protoss, but in any case we'll see at least in game 2 if he rolls the dice the same way.
All right, let's go into the game and see.
All right, let's get into it.
Okay, looks like Biggie is Protoss again, right? Up here at the top right.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's possible he got Protoss again, but it's also possible he picked Protoss. Might be committed to random, I'm not sure. Like, it could be like on this map or against this team, he thinks ZP is the best, you know? Could be something like that.
Right. Yeah, I mean, there are no rule limitations to, you know, what races you want to go. I mean, you could go different than what is on that graphic. So yeah, it could be just like a strategic thing specific to this team, or I don't know. Like I said, I've been seeing him play more Protoss, Biggie on Shield Battery, so kind of not entirely sure, but we can confirm that in the meantime. So yeah, we have Biggie here, Protoss, yellow, top right, and his ally is Andy, red, Zerg, bottom right. So they're going to be on the right side, and then on the left side are their opponents, if you want to call them out.
Right, so yeah, he's in Wave again on the left, is Zerg, Wave, Protoss. Again, left versus right, like last time, this time on Fighting Spirit.
Yep.
And probably gonna see a 2-gate, 9-pool gas from both Zergs, it's looking like. So pretty standard opening so far. There are like some alternatives you could go for in 2v2, like you could try to go like fast cannon and tech, and then you might even put cannons in your allies base also. That is one way to play, but it doesn't seem like either side is going for that. So we're gonna have a 2-gate and a 9-pool gas from pretty much everyone so far.
Yeah, and it looks like overpool builds from our Zerg players. The Zach was not the Zach.
Yeah, actually overpool, not mine.
Oh, that's mine.
Oh, we got a fake UFO because he's actually making drones, and the enemy probe. Oh, is he gonna stay to see? No. Yeah, okay, he saw it, right? I hope he was looking at that because that's that's a big deal. Yeah, he made drones. They definitely saw it. Okay. And then you need a lair also. So if you're gonna play like that, I mean, okay, we actually have drones from the opponent too. So he's choosing to counter drone, I suppose, against his opponent.
Yeah, it's like a drone wars right now.
Yeah, like we almost have as many drones as probes, which is a little bit crazy actually. You normally don't see that.
Yeah, these numbers. We don't tend to see these numbers. This is a product of early insight and reaction. The read here from Biggie, which is an interesting choice because so like usually 3-gate is pretty potent against like 9-pool Zerg, but the opposing Zerg in Izu is bottom left, which is the furthest distance from where Biggie is. So it's interesting that he's likely to make 3-gate here, but he's gonna get one Zealot into Wave's main. This is big. Let's see if he can get any harassment done. He sees the gas timing. That's big.
Yeah, that's really huge actually. And if he can get a probe, that'll also be pretty sweet. He gets a probe.
Oh baby. And it's got plenty of help.
Now remember, he went 3-gate, so one Zealot is like nothing to him, dude. I mean, he's got way more of those coming.
Right. Yeah, and that's what makes it tricky. I mean, the 3-gate choice was interesting to me, but when you were able to do this and get a Zealot snuck into the Protoss's main, it certainly creates a little sense of comfort, I would say. Like, you don't expect there to be a huge Zealot follow-up. So yeah, it looks like the blue team's going to start going towards the 3-gater, which is interesting and certainly good for the 3-gater. Meanwhile, the Zergs are making their respective Sunkens and Sunken defense here as well. That Zealot's still alive. Really good job here from Biggie. But yeah, Biggie's going to be good against anything because he's 3-gate.
Yeah, trying to force your way up a narrow choking. I mean, they don't know it's a 3-gate, of course. But this is exactly what you want when you go 3-gate because this is just giving him value.
Oh, look at that! Look at the mind game. They see the Zealots coming down. They're like, "Whoops!"
Now they know. Like, oh shit, 3-gate probably. Yeah, he's saying that. So
now the problem is there's no gas here for Biggie, and his opponent Zerg is going Muta. So he needs to attack, and this is the furthest distance. Again, this is what we were kind of scratching our heads about. But he's actually going towards Wave. So I kind of like this decision because okay, the counter is going to come here. He's got to be able to deal with it. Yeah, he's got to be able to deal with this. That's the bottom line. When you're going 3-gate, you can't let something like this kill you, even if there's some Zealots coming here. He needs to do damage to Wave right now, right this second.
Starting to get a lot of damage in right now. There's so many probes going down. He's sacrificing Zerglings to do it, though.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a shield battery, so he's not going to be able to get into Wave's space. I'm thinking, like, how do you use your Zealot advantage? Like, are they going to go attack Zerg, you think? Because then your allied Zerg could, go toe-to-toe, air-to-air, right? While you have a ground advantage. There's only one Sunken right now, so maybe that's the plan.
Dude, it's gonna take too long. I think Wave and Izu did it. They're just so smart. I mean, the mental warfare that happened in this game, for those of you who didn't see it or interpret it the way that it happened. But basically, Biggie was playing a big brain play there, going to 3-gate, but he got nothing done with it. There's a shield battery here from Wave. Perfect concave from Wave. My goodness, look at that micro. Absolutely. And Izu already has 5 muta. 5 muta. And
Yeah,
Andy
exactly.
knows that he needs to push. But he's got 6 muta, and Andy only has 2 muta. Like, I think they did it. I mean,
Wave is gonna have a Dragoon advantage too. So, and like Dragoon can shoot up. He could have like 2 Dragoons at his ally space. He just ran the air, and then they're gonna be superior in the air too. And even now, he's winning the air, which is basically a 1v1 in ZVZ, you know?
right. In a vacuum, in one-on-one, PvP, ZVZ, the blue team wins each day of the week in this situation. But yeah, I mean, just the maneuvering and the pivoting that the blue team displayed this game, definitely worthy of rewatching this one, because there's a lot of ways that this game could have swayed, and the way that blue reacted was actually really masterful. Just having poise, knowing where they were. I don't think Izu's gonna overstep here. I think he's gonna have confidence with what he has. He knows the situation. Gets the weak muta. See that?
Yeah, so very good targeting.
Yep.
2 Skirt coming in now too. He's gonna try to chase it down.
Wow, he picks off the other weak muta. He's constantly getting value here.
He had a Skirt, right? And he got a muta.
Really good job from Andy. Now he's got a back. Oh, he's got another pair of Scourge here.
He still has more, and his friend, his allies, contain the enemy pro. So Biggie is contained and cannot tell him. I mean, he doesn't have the Dragoons anyway, right? So it's not like it could even actually doesn't even have the units out. But it looks like a counter attack. Oh, but he reads it. He's ready for it. He blocked it.
Nice pick off from Andy. Really nice micro from Andy here to be able to get back into the spot. Ooh.
It looks like the Scarlet land. It's kind of hard to see, but
yeah,
good advantage for the defender now.
Izzy takes this one.
Yeah, for sure. And he's expanding even.
Yep.
Now, normally, or not normally, but like in some cases, you would like build cannons at your allies' expansion, but they don't even need to right now. That's how far ahead they are. Yeah, in fact, G gets called.
Wow. Well, that did not surprise. The outcome is a surprise, more so just how competitive and how tit for tat it was. I mean, these guys are really good high-level players, so to see that just the exchanges back and forth and the reactions and split-second decisions that were made, just all around, just really high-level play. But yeah, GG.
Actually, the in 2 versus 2 are really close to the Koreans in DB2. He's not playing right now, but there was a foreigner called Nizzy, I believe he was Finnish, who was like possibly the best 2v2 player when he played. And it's very funny because there was like this Chinese 2v2 tournament, and he allied with Scan, or he was gonna like ally with Scan, or I don't remember exactly what happened. I just remember this. It's so insane. He said he didn't want to play with Scan because Scan wasn't good enough. He would rather play with his like normal 2v2 Isaac ally or something. And it's like, dude, if you don't want to play with Scan, you're pretty damn good, right?
Yeah, I've heard of that, and it's funny how the tables turn on that one, because Scan, early on, newer to 2 versus 2, at least at that time, I do recall that time. Nizzy, obviously an old schooler, he actually has more 2 versus 2 experience than Scan. He's just he's one of the first foreigners to play 2 versus 2, But yeah, Scan is now the best 2 versus 2er, and
he was always really good.
Yeah, he was always really good when he first started, but he did go on to win all those Chinese tournaments. So shout out to Scan there, best 2 versus 2 player in the world. But yeah, these guys, Izu and Wave, congratulations, really good play overall. Just overall, really good teamwork and really impressive effort from them. And Biggie and Andy also playing really well. But that was 2-0, no?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they did that best of 3. So that means we're going to be looking at TT1 and Kenzie. Kenzie, of course, pretty well known among 2 versus 2 enjoyers, I would say.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, honestly, when you look at this slate for today, I kind of correlated to like a UFC card. So for those of you who watch UFC, sometimes when they have really good fights and really good events and really good matchups, you think that that card is stacked. I'm looking at this again. I mean, this is absolutely stacked. We have TT1 here, allying Kenzie, both OGs in the 2 versus 2 space. TT1, a Protoss player from Canada. Kenzie, a random player from France. Both very knowledgeable. I mean, right here we got 40+ years of Brood War experience. Very strong team. These guys contested Bonnet and Zeke last season in BSL 1, 2 versus 2. Very, very exciting matchup for those of you who did not catch it. I definitely highly recommend you go check that out. These guys, I'm not going to spoil it, but they did very well against Bonnet and Zeke. Even though Bonnet and Zeke did end up being champions, TT1 Kenzie were right in the thick of things. But yeah, their opponent's going to be Jiren and Terror. Jiren, aka Babo, from Chile, old school 2 vs 2 Zerg player, probably the only player in this entire tournament that has the experience that he has. He's been playing 2 vs 2 longer than just about everyone here, definitely everyone here. And the one guy that we spoke of, Nizzy, I would put Babo right next to him in terms of 2 vs 2 experience. So OG here, very highly skilled player. And Terran, he is from Peru.
Yeah, he's a very well-known 1 versus 1 player. One of the best non-Korean talents. Basically, only Muju is better than him, maybe. And then there's that other guy called the Dandy. But they're definitely top 3 non-Korean talents for sure. In 1 versus 1. Now, I haven't seen him in 2v2, so I don't know how good he is at it, but he made it this far, so.
Oh yeah, I've been watching Terra. Terra's been streaming his 2 versus 2, and he plays very, very well, very, very strong. Obviously, a lot of those one-on-one mechanics are going to flow transition well into 2 versus 2. So he's a very, just lots of units, usually a lot of bio units, a lot of mech units, that type of style with really strong control as well. So honestly, these guys right here also very, very high level. This game is going to be this matchup is going to be intense.
All right, so looks like we're going to go for a 1-minute break, and then we'll be back with TT1 Kenzie versus Babo Terra. All right, we're back, everybody. BSL 2 versus 2. And yeah, we're going to have Kenzie, TT1 versus Babo and
Terra.
Terra, thank you. Exactly. Oh, yeah, by the way, I mentioned Terra is top 3 Terrans in 1 versus 1. I forgot to mention Gypsy, who's also actually pretty good these days. He got a lot better.
Yeah. Yeah, if Gypsy played 2 versus 2, I'd be pretty happy about that. I'd be happy allying him, rather.
Yeah. All right, are we ready to go into game number 1?
All right, let's get into it. So, vODdy, no 2 versus 2 for you.
You know, if the bases were shared, I would enjoy it a lot more, because I'm more of a macro enjoyer, you know.
Well, if you can macro hard, 2 versus 2 is definitely your game, especially if you have a good Zerg ally that doesn't die.
Yeah. Yeah, I did play with another Swede, and we got to like B+ on Isaac or something, and then it was like the only team left was like Nissi and whoever he played it, and we were like, okay, this is too much. We just got spanked. So
yeah, if you're playing against Nizzy, that's the cream of the crop right there, especially in on Europe server. But yeah, Nizzy, I haven't heard from him. Hopefully he gets onto Shield Battery one of these days. But yeah, we're gonna have Babo here spawn in the bottom left position. Zerg player in the let's just call that black.
Yeah, Babo, by the way, is the other name for Jiren here. Also, we got cross positions. What I mean by that is that the team has his own, like everyone has his ally cross position from himself.
Right.
Which is going to make it even more awkward than normal, because even more 2v1, even more counter-attacking, stuff like that.
Right. Yeah, so it's going to be Yeah, it's going to be a cross-map situation, ZT versus Double P. And a lot of people feel like Double P is a really bad situation. I would agree with that, especially against ZT. I would say it's one of the hardest matchups in 2 versus 2 in general, PP versus ZT. But cross-map, I think, is going to be favorable for PP in this spot because it's going to be harder for Zerg and Terran to support each other. I think sometimes it could be a dual edge situation because also Zerg Terran can also split Protoss from also supporting each other as well. So it's kind of a two-way street there when it comes to cross map situations in PP versus ZT. It looks like Babo's going to try to go for that 12 hatch. He's going to take that 12 hatch on his ramp here.
That was interesting to think it. He sent out 2 drones, so he like faked. Like maybe he was even planning to 12 hatch on the ramp because that's a thing people do in 2v2.
Yeah,
we don't know if you wanted to or if you wanted to expand, but we have a gas theft by the way as well against the Terran, who might have been planning to go mech against the double Protoss.
Oh, 100%. You're going to be going mech 99.99% against double P. So to be gassed here, it's going to force Terror to have to do something. He's going to have to react to that. What I like to do in this situation as Terror is just plant 4 SCVs onto that gas, get that gas down right away, so that I can make my gas and get up to factories. Because I don't want to play 2 rack into this situation. You could play. There's a reality where you can make a CC, but when my ally is late pool here, I prefer to just kill that gas and get my gas up right away, and then try to get the factory up right away as well.
Yeah, I mean, so Protoss has a very strong late game if they can make their late game. Like, if they both expand, it's actually really strong to Protoss. But you really want to, like, abuse the rigidity and the lack of flexibility that they have in the early game and the mid game. And the best way to do that as a Terran, I would say, is to go vultures with mines. Because if you have a Zerg going Mutalisks and you have a Terran going vultures with mines, then it's like, you need the observers for the mines, but they don't help you versus Mutas. And you need maybe like Corsairs or something crazy against Mutas, but that doesn't help you against the mines. So stealing that gas, actually a very good move for the Protoss team.
Yep, and we're going to get some early Zealot pressure towards Babo here. Babo is going to continue to make Zerglings in this spot. More Zealots are being flooded in, so Babo's actually not... he's in danger here. This is a lot of Zealots. This is 2-gate production from both Protosses, so totaling 4. Nice positioning here from Kenzie or TT1. I'm not entirely sure which Protoss.
Oh, this is both of them here.
Okay.
So this is TT1.
Yeah, so a lot of Zealots coming in here. Babo losing a drone to a probe, and now the Zerglings are out of position. He's going to have to drill these drones and fight this and engage.
Yeah, this is insane. And normally, there's like a time limit to stuff like this, because the first vulture will come out. But the gas theft has delayed that vulture so much that we actually see a few Marines coming out to try to help. That's all we can muster right now.
Yeah, and Babo doing such a good job of holding this. I mean, for him to have any drones here is good. Terra's doing his best to try to support. He's actually going to peel off one of these Zealots with his 4 Marines. Really nice job from Terror. Babo has speed. Looks like his Lings are speed upgraded. Yep, they're speed upgraded. So these Marines are going to slowly knock down these Zealots on the wall. Babo is going to be free now.
Yeah, an interesting thing you can do when you have a few Marines. Okay, they have Dragoons now, but like if they hadn't had Dragoons yet, you can actually like force them to leave the wall with a Marine. But they are of course transitioning to Dragoons now, and Zerg has been. I mean, JIRAIYA has been hurt so much by that 2v1 that really Dragoons. Like, you don't have to worry about Mutalisks, so Dragoons can actually just reign supreme.
Yeah, I want to see Babo in this spot make drones. He needs to make drones. He just doesn't have enough drones. And I want to see the Protoss teams. I want to see them be poised. I want to see Robotech. I want to see things like Reaver Tech. I want to see Speed Shuttle. Right now, they know that they have a lead. They did a lot of damage to Zerg. And Terran did send some forces. So yeah, I want to see poise from the Protoss, and I want to see a strong follow-up from them heading into the mid game.
And we do see Kenzie is planning to go Reaver, which I completely agree with, because like the thing is, when you don't have to fear Mutalisk for this long because you hurt the Zerg so much, a Reaver in a shuttle, it's just so brutal because you can always counter that whenever the opponent leaves either player, right?
Yep. Exactly.
And then you can even expand yourself, because like if they ever leave, they die, so you can just expand. And when you expand, you're getting into that superior Protoss late game we talked about. That's so good in 2v2. It's hard to get to, but if you get to it, it's great.
Yeah, and Protoss, one of the strengths of Double P is when you get to that sort of critical mass situation where observers are out, you're starting to clear mines, and you're starting to threaten actually attacking either the Zerg or the Terran. You can also just decide not to attack and just plant the Nexus, and like you said, kind of build up to your advantage, continue to compound on that lead. So yeah, those mines are going to go down. As Terran here, I do like to follow it up with Goliath range, because I do want to be anticipating things like Speed Shuttle and also things like Corsair if they decide to go for that route. Goliath range does tend to be a good follow-up upgrade after mines. Obviously those mines is going to create that separation as Terror is doing. He's making a Goliath here as well. Morlings being made from Babo, so this suggests with +1 melee, so this is going to suggest a timing here where they're going to try to punch one of these Protosses and really try to
well, this thing, he went to the low ground, so he could actually die to this.
Yep.
I don't know about standing down here. Like, if he's not going to expand, there's really no reason to not camp around. Right?
Yep, absolutely. Now there are 2 cannons behind this, so I think TT1 sort of measured that. But yeah, with those cannon support, he's going to be absolutely fine. He did sacrifice his 3 Zealots. Mines.
Oh, I know why he was standing down here, because he wanted to contest the mines being placed, right? So he didn't want to give him that for free, but they forced it in, and they do have mines here now.
Exactly. Yep.
That's a shuttle, I think, by the way, going to the Zergs. This is what we talked about. Like, this, okay, he seems to sense that it's coming. I think he saw it on an Overlord too. But, like, even with the Zerglings here, I mean, what are you going to do? Like, this might even be game ending down here.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't drone heavily. Just now reacting to it. He needs help.
Oh my days, dude. And only vultures and marines, like reavers eat all of this for breakfast. This is the brutal reality of being ahead on tech in 2v2. Like if you have Utilisks and there's no anti-air, or if you have a reaver and there's no anti-air, you just get to do stuff like this.
Well, good response here from Terror, getting here as quickly as he did. I really like this response time. It could have been worse, I would say. So, good response here from... Yeah, so yeah, this is sort of the consequence of going for that sort of linear style where they made all those Zerglings and made all those vultures. They you know, because they went for that style as a follow-up. There weren't Goliaths really in position anticipating that, but I think the response time from Terror was quite good, and that could have been much worse. So Jiren's going to try to stabilize here. Looks like he's thinking about making a Spire, but he doesn't have the... Oh, he has the money for it. Protoss is moving, though. Tank's in position.
Yeah, this is like, first of all, to check that Zerg isn't expanding, just to keep him down, but then also to see if they could go for something here, maybe. And there's a world where they kill him here, because they do have that shuttle, they could do a bulldog. And
look at these tanks. This tank position is perfect, I think.
Yeah. One Goliath only, trying to take down the shuttle, Reaver gets unloaded, and that's going to be 1 tank down, and 1 tank remaining, though. So they could possibly hold this with the tank.
Yeah, the Protoss can't break this, can they? Not with the tank up there.
I don't think... I mean... Okay, the tank is going to splash a few of the allied links.
No way can they break this! Oh my gosh, look at how much is left. No chance! I
mean, it... Okay, more leads coming in. A few drones did die, so...
Talk about square peg into round hole kind of situation. Yeah. That's Protoss for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of worth it though, because they're so far out. Okay, I guess it's gonna work.
Oh my goodness, this is insane.
Killing that all one tank though, with a Reaver was huge, because 2 tanks and there's no way this worked.
Right.
Wow, that's a lot of big guns.
And there you have it. Double P winning against ZT. It's possible.
Yeah, that's considered a bad matchup, actually, for Protoss. It's considered in ZT favor, normally.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And for them to do what they did, and then demonstrate the poise, and then follow up and execute, it just that was just picture perfect of how you want to play Double P that you probably can't repeat.
Yeah,
like
but we have to point out that 1, they got the gas station, which is not guaranteed, because Terran could put an incendiate around. And 2, he may have been trying to fast expand, and that may have been like a panic ramp at the 12 match, you know. So, but yeah, we'll play for sure.
All right. Well, TT1 and Kenzie are going to take game 1 against Jiren and Terror. Who's going to take game 2?
Alright, we're ready for game 2. Alright, so I believe we have a random, right? So we have to look at what the races are. We got Jiren as the Zerg, top right. His teammate Terror, Terran at the top left. So it's going to be top versus bottom right now. So
PP.
At the bottom, PP again. Because I don't know if they picked it or if it just happened.
No, I know for sure Kenzie is random. I
Okay.
know for sure he's random. So this is him rolling the dice, getting Protoss again. TT1 said, "Let's go the same." Kenzie said K. So we'll see how this. We'll see how the gameplay and the flow of it is different, top versus bottom. Whereas last game
right.
with cross map, and see if it, because this element, the difference here is Kenzie is now further away from Babo, whereas last game with cross map, both Protosses were able to just rally Zealots because they're again the same, it's equidistant. Whereas in this case, Kenzie can't get there.
That's a very good point because they did go pretty hard at 2v1 last game, exploiting the fact that Terran was gassed up and couldn't get vultures out to help very quickly. Because Terran, of course, is weak before you have either spin or vultures, right? Now it's going to be a lot easier to even sending like one marine at the top of the ramp behind Zerglings. Even that can do a lot if you get them from the zones.
Absolutely. Let's see if Kenzie goes for the gas steal here. It looks like Terror is going to plant the gas before the barrack. I love that. And then the barrack is going to be planted right away too. So he's cutting that SCV right this second.
Yeah.
But he was able to get the gas, not get stolen, and plant the barrack at a reasonable time. So nice reaction there from Terror. Looks like Babo's going to like to go, was that 12 pool? Yep.
Yeah, and he hasn't taken gas yet, so he might be going for a hatchery, which of course this probe could be an issue for. But I want to point out that he delayed his barracks to get the gas, right?
Yeah, he made the gas
Right.
and the barrack. Yep.
Exactly. Now, if you do that in 1 versus 1 and your opponent proxy gated you, you die. But
Oh, absolutely. That's a great point.
like you can take the risk if you think he's 12 legs and behind it, but you die to a proxy. But in 2 versus 2, like, are you really gonna expect a proxy game? Probably not, right? Because then the 9 speed or something would just destroy it. So,
Right.
very intelligent to go for that here in this case.
Yeah, and also in 1 versus 1, like worst case, you're getting proxy and you just die, and then like you know, economically you're cutting SCVs. Like 1-on-1, you don't want to do that. But in 2 versus 2, you make that sacrifice because you don't want to be in a position where you're killing your gas and delaying your ability to get up the tech. So you kind of give that up. You sacrifice the economy part just to not be denied your gas against double P, which is absolutely critical. So. Yeah, Babo this time around is going to like to make that insurance sunken, which is going to give him more liberty with his Zerglings that are out. So it's going to really put more pressure on double P because they won't be able to just rally into Babo's main and kill him. And Babo needs to use these lings very smartly and try to either cut things off or maybe force the Protoss momentum to shift. In any case, they're going to continue to push here. Babo needs to defend this. Kind of the dance, the early dance that he had some difficulty with.
And the placement of the sunken is a little bit unfortunate because it doesn't cover the ramp, so we could have a walk by here.
He needed to stuff that before they got in, but he did get some pot shots off. He needs to be smart with what can come subsequent to these first 2 they got in. But yeah.
Overall, though, he's doing okay because he has a few Zerglings already on the ramp in case there's another walk by attempt, and then there's the sunken helps, right? And this is like on a timer because the vultures are coming and the mines are coming. And when that happens, these units out here are just dead. The isolated units.
Yeah, Babo needs to prioritize these 5 Zealots right here. They can't get in.
Yeah, he's doing what he needs to, I think.
Oh,
he
great job.
Them in range of the sunken.
Yep. Now, Kenzie and TT1, I feel like a missed opportunity. They needed to be hitting these drones a lot sooner.
Yeah, at the same time, I agree.
Yep.
So, better execution so far. Much better start for, Jiren, also known as Babo and Terra. Vultures are going to be out any second.
The pro got the drone!
Okay, so down to 6 drones now. I mean, they did certainly cause some damage. And what's good about this is, it's delaying the Mutalisks. So we can have a Reaver and a Shuttle before Mutas, which is a big deal. We actually see a Stargate already, so I don't know if this is for a scout, because I mean it seems a bit early to be going for Corsairs because you don't need the anti-muta just yet.
Yeah, it could be scout. Oh, Vulture getting in here, but TT1 real nerd there with the probe. Vulture gets in. Terror, you know this.
Scouting the Stargate, big deal.
Yeah, big deal. Now there are Marines at Babo, so he could defend them against Corsair. Scout, not so much. Oh,
yeah,
nice pressure here. Oh, this is
no, this could be death.
There's a gap.
I think that's actually a dead Protoss right there.
There's more links coming.
Yeah, they can just get the pylon and it's rip.
Babo is kind of like the Jadong of 2 versus 2. Whenever you know that quote from Jadong that says, "Instead of making drones, make lings," even when you have 3 drones.
Yeah, right. And he's like, just such a berserk. He just pounces.
This is Babo, man. Look at how many lings there are. This is absolutely insane. Dude. What a follow-up. Just you can't. He smelled blood in the water now.
It's pretty sweet counterattack against Terran, but here's the thing: like, Terran can just run away with his SCVs to his ally's base, and then his ally can come back with the links and clean up. So it's actually not as dangerous. GG.
GG. Great execution there from Terra and Babo. Now, Kenzie's still in this game here. I guess he's gonna try to just get some micro practice in. All right, okay, GG.
Yeah, the only way Kenzie could have won that is like if he had been rushing, and I mean like really rushing Reaver, he could have killed Zerg with the Reaver maybe, and then paid it out. But he didn't have it. Yeah. These guys, Babo and Terror. I mean, they're gonna when they smell blood in the water, they're gonna put their foot on your throat. Like they don't let up. They don't take their foot off the gas pedal. Put it, to put it exactly. They are, if they see any opportunity to end the game, they're gonna take it. So in that situation where they weren't able to do as much damage to Babo early on, they need to be more poised. In that case, TT1, after killing the drone in the main, his Zealot was a little bit, an inch too much to the left, and Zealot, Zerglings were able to sneak in there and end him. But yeah, that's a tough one, but you gotta always be ready when you're playing against Babo. I gotta tell you though, it was a good idea because even if he plays perfectly and he closes the wall, you know that range isn't ready for Dragoons yet. So you could have a Vulture pick away at the Zealots at the round. Yeah. And that's gonna like allow the links to get in. So it was a really good idea, even though what happened wasn't guaranteed.
Yeah, so game 1 was kind of like picture perfect for the double P team, whereas second game it was kind of like it's almost like psychological because you can tell very clearly that Babo and Terra didn't have like the mentality to get into mid game. There were just too many Vultures and Zerglings that were produced for them to have that mentality. So that's gonna kind of keep TT1 and Kenzie in the back of their mind. If they do roll double P again, they might elect to not be as aggressive early on, or maybe they might over make defense or what have you. But there's a mental aspect there that I think is now in their mind because they have that card, that sort of "we're gonna kill you" mindset. So
yeah, we'll see how they choose to play what happens.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're about to go into game 3, and we'll see if they play aggro again or if they change it up.
Yep. All right, let's get into it.
All right, so who are we looking at here? This is this Terror up here? Probably, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so Terror got Terran and his ally Babo, also known as Giant and Zerg, so made a TC again. Now I want to see the races for Kenzie. So we got TT1 Protoss. And Protoss again. So 3 times in a row getting Protoss.
Yeah, I know for sure he's going random. I swear to you. He's not picking P. Not many teams purposely pick P, put it that way. But on Sparkle, it's kind of different. It's a little bit different. Like double P on a ramp map, not an island map, is different than a PP on an island map. So we'll see kind of how these players play. But one of the things I would say on Sparkle, so Sparkle to me is a ZP map. It's very, and one of the advantages of that is because Protoss can make an early Corsair, which pairs very nicely with early Muta in terms of getting an air superiority, which is often good on an island map. So so Babo actually going for Overgas here. Interesting choice in that Overgas has a pretty slow layer timing because your pool is late, but it's going to give you that gas boost.
Yeah, so when you get to there, you can do more stuff.
Yeah, yeah. So, so clearly showing what he plans to do, and Terror, I would imagine, is gonna think about maybe, going like Goliaths with dropships, something like that.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but like in 2 versus 2, this seems like an unexplored kind of map because I mean people generally don't play on island maps, right? So like which races are even the best? Like we don't even know. I have to imagine what the best compositions. Like I guess people have different beliefs and stuff, but like we don't really know for sure, do we?
I mean, there's not a ton of data, but when you see like TT1 to me is a very good Protoss example on this map where he can really abuse it. He's very good with the build orders needed to hit early Corsair timings. Ooh, double Nexuses from the Protosses. Clearly they want to go for a longer macro style game. So so for them to go for an early Nexus here, this means that they need to, the mindset is, we're not going to die and we need to hold by ourselves because there's no chance that either of us can help each other. We're thinking we're going to win this later in the game. Like this is not a 10-minute game. This is not a 12-minute game. Like this is going to be a long game. And we're both going to defend against anything they do without any information.
Yeah,
because one of the advantages
1v2, you know, to describe.
Yeah, so if Zerg Terran here goes for like early Goliath dropships with Muta, then both of them need to be able to deal with that. So you got to deal with the Muta and the Goliaths, and it's like, what do you do against it? Because one of the advantages on Sparkle, at least from my standpoint, with ZP, is that Protoss can make Corsair so early, and what you can do with that Corsair is do two things. You can kill Overlords, and you can also get information. And that's really important, because if you see the Terran making a CC, that changes everything. If you see a Terran make a starport, that changes everything. So the advantage of Protoss, to me, on this map, is your ability to make Corsair not need to make things like Zealots or whatever, because nothing's going to kill you. So the information is really important. They're giving that up to make that Nexus first. So they need to have that 1 versus 2 sort of mindset, at least from a defensive standpoint, because they're not going to be doing anything offensive anytime soon. So we'll see kind of how they deal with it. I wonder.
Yeah, and they're even getting 2 gates because they know that there's such a good chance they're going to get attacked by like a fast drop, Mutalisk, stuff like that. They know they need to mute it now. But you're just not dying. We do actually see 2 with Wraith. He was considering going for drop, but he changed his mind.
This is so strong. This is so strong. I've seen this against Double P, Starport, because the scans can kill observers. And if
this is a mistake, I think, because they already have the barrack scouting, so there's no need to also scan with them.
Yeah, that's kind of redundant. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, that's just a bummer. That's unfortunate for Giant and Terror.
2 cannons minimum. See, TT1 has a really strong sense. Terran could do something like this. They could go Wraiths. Oh, that's
now on normal maps. Protoss is great late game, but difficult early. Do you think that's true on island maps also, that they have a strong late game ratio?
Yeah. I think 4-base Protoss is stronger than a lot of other equivalent 4 bases.
Got it. Well, I mean, if they're going to survive this, they're certainly setting up to get that late game with double Nexus Burst or double fast expand.
Yep.
Alright, so first Meta's are going to come out, and like they need to make something happen here, honestly, because
these are drones, man.
Drones?
They're not
Not
even.
Oh, okay, so they're thinking, alright, we're just... Okay, but this is weird, because like...
this is playing into PP's favor. They're countering macro with more macro, and they're hoping that they over-defend so that
But then the Terran isn't macro, Terran on 2 with Wraith, so I don't see the synergy here, where it's like, Zerg is counter-macro, right? But the Terran really isn't.
Yeah.
So I don't know if this is going to be like...
Yeah, you kind of can't like meet in the middle. You can't be in the middle. You kind of have to both be swinging in the same direction. I agree with you on that, because the strength of them in game 2 was that they were both super aggro, and in this spot, Babo is being drone heavy, whereas because they could 2 versus 1 of them, right? Like they have the right of action. They can decide on where the first fight is, but in this case, Wraiths are being made. CC, I guess, is being planted down as well, but Babo is drone, like only drone, pure drone.
Okay, it looks like the Terran Zerg attack should be coming any moment now. Because, I mean, if they're going to attack, and I assume they are, because Terran didn't fast expand, it would have to be hitting soon So maybe something like a Mutalisk flawed from 3 gas, plus the Wraith or something?
I'm telling you, it needs to happen soon, because these guys, you give them time, especially off of 4 base. Like 3 Stargates, like that, to me, that's like, okay, we're behind on air, let's catch up. Let's add 3 Stargates. Let's get our core spinning. Let's get our +1 shield. Like, this is where Protoss can single-handedly win air against Wraith and Muta. If you give them time, they will do it. So
yeah, Corsairs are just busted. And actually, even now, they have so much money, they could even go speed scouts. Like, I'm not trolling.
Alright, well, I don't know about speed scouts, but Corsairs enough will be very, very...
like, if the game goes on long enough, because, like,
yeah.
Obviously Corsairs wreck Wraiths, Corsairs wreck Mutalisks. They don't wreck Devourers, though. I know that's like a long... I mean, we could get there. We could get there. And if I hope it gets there. My mouth is like salivating just thinking about that. First attack.
Oh, that's a lot of cannons, though.
If he suicides on the cannons and there's no observer, that's gonna make the Wraiths very strong. So
right,
I might be able to go for it. Watch out with the Corsairs, though. Corsairs do so much damage to Wraiths. It's actually insane.
They can see. They can't see it.
Okay, now they can't see it. So we got the Wraiths hunting him down. The only... Okay, yeah, he's got a cannon there. If he wants to save his expansion, the only way to do that is to attack his own Corsair next to the Wraith for splash. And that's not really feasible, but you also have Mutas to deal with.
The other Protoss needs to send an observer ASAP. He can save it.
Yeah, I mean, the time is running out, but they still have a lot of it.
Yeah.
Because the Nexus is a beefy building.
So I think it's TT. This is Kenzie getting harassed right now, I believe.
Oh yeah, Kenzie on the left. Okay.
Yeah. So TT1, he's gonna take this time to take a Nexus. What,
yeah. Oh, it's actually TT1 getting attacked.
Oh, it's TT1. Okay.
TT1's on the left, Kenzie on the right. So
got it.
What is Kenzie doing? You think? Oh yeah, here's the observer. So Wraiths are no longer a problem.
This is that 1 versus 2 mindset. Kenzie's not helping. He's only going to help in the form of an observer. Now, Kenzie's taking another bid. Yeah, Kenzie needs to depend on TT1 not dying and being able to secure that second base again. And he needs to take that time to say, okay, they just lost a bunch of stuff at my ally. I'm going to take this opportunity to take another base so I can get bigger. There's still a lot more supply that I can take.
Style, actually,
yeah, it's such a Protoss style, but also it's how you play this map. And I really like the way that they're playing it. And now that 3 Stargate Corsair that TT1's building,
it's gonna be insane, dude.
Yeah, like, you gotta think he's gonna win air eventually.
Yeah, the Wraiths are actually so weak to Corsair, like it's actually insane. Now they're trying to get this expansion again.
Oh, that's a lot of Muta.
That's a lot of units indeed. Now, okay,
that's
so
too much.
Looks like they're finally gonna get it, which is great. But keep in mind, the other Protoss is taking a third, so...
Oh my gosh.
You know, game will go on.
Server. Oh no, he's gonna lose this by the skin of his teeth, but you gotta think, is it too much? Was the cost too much to kill this?
Oh, look at the counter-attack, dude. There's nothing here. There's nothing here. They focused so hard on killing one base, just literally an expansion.
The Terror stop losing Ritz?
No, it's just been losing so many to Corsairs. He doesn't have too many. He's got like 1 tank in his main, I think. So he should be able to save... Well, he's got lift that CC. Oh, there we go. So he should be able to save the CC. Because he got... I mean, I hope he has siege mode, actually. If he doesn't have siege mode, he might lose.
He doesn't have siege mode, that's why he's making a bunk. There's no chance he's got siege mode. I mean, this is like no units, though. 4 speed lots.
Dude, that's sick.
Oh, man.
Okay, alright, so... I thought there were Reavers for some reason. I assumed that, but there weren't, so... This is still pretty good, though, because, like, okay, he's delaying mining, right? And, it's, like, not a big deal. The Corsairs are stuck.
Oh, man.
It's not a big deal that they launched an expansion when they're also delaying the Terran Expo for this long.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm really liking PP's edge. Right now, you gotta be worried about Kenzie, because now TT1's gonna win air, and he just lost his second base, but he's still gonna win air because he's Protoss. And now Kenzie's on 3 base, and he's the leader in supply at 91. So Terror is gonna try to get his second base up. The fact that Babo's been building so many mutas and Scourge, it feels like he's not gonna be able to pivot into a late game scenario very easily.
Yeah.
He's gonna have to drone up. But as this continues,
it's
favorable for TT1. I think TT1 just wins air, man.
Yeah, you know, in a 1 versus 1 situation, you can go mute a Scourge and eventually ensnare the Corsairs.
Right.
But if there are 2 Protoss opponents, like, I don't know, dude, like, you go for all of that and a Reaver counterpatching your base, like, it's just not the same.
Yeah. Yeah, so Terror continuing to build upon that Wraith fleet. They're gonna try again, and TT1 is not gonna stop making Corsair, and I don't know what the upgrades are on those Corsairs, but I gotta think it's at least +1. He's got
+1/+1. That's pretty sick. He's got shields.
I think
it's actually good.
This is gonna get bounced back. I think he's got too much Corsair. What do you think? I think he's gonna bounce this back.
If the cannons were finished, it'd be totally safe. As it is now, though, like, if he just focuses on the raids first, like, look at how quickly they die. Immediately, raids fall. Here come the Scourge, though.
This is playing into Protoss.
Yeah, because he's just absorbing attacks while his ally grows out of control, dude. Like, he's gonna be disgustingly strong. Like, he might even be getting a recall at this point. They've left him alone for so long.
Yeah. If I'm Kenzie, I'm taking another Vis.
Like, they say the Expo. Yeah, I mean, for sure, like, build cannons on the islands in the middle. That's a win condition right there. If you fortify those with cannons.
Yeah, what are you worried about? The Wraiths?
Right, yeah. A few flimsy Mutalisks. No way, dude. So, I mean...
Alright, well, Babo being...
Yep.
But Babo did make macro hatchery, so he will drone, he will get up to Hive. You know, he's a solid macro player, so he can...
Yeah, you can let us expand on this if you ever make it to Hive.
Yeah, he's gonna have to. He's gonna have to.
So I really think that, you know, you should drop like a few Lagoons and take those out if you get the chance. The Niduses, I mean.
Right.
On the islands. Or the creep colonies or whatever they are. But yeah, like, Protoss on even basis is pretty strong. Protoss ahead of base, that's just out of control.
I mean, let's be real here. If one Protoss can win air against both Zerg and Terran, it's broken. I mean, like,
yeah,
this is not.
So, like, we got these mass shuttles, right? One Protoss is going Corsair, the other one's going mass shuttle, and he may not be able to kill anyone, but they're preventing the enemy from expanding. So if they can just take and hold the islands, although he's going for this attack here, I don't think
you're gonna let him drop.
Oh,
it's Archon in there. There's an Archon.
And there may not be enough sunken colonies here.
Yeah. They're out of position. They needed to contest air together.
Yeah, stomp the drop, I guess, but like, yeah, I suppose that's what you need to do, but that's the problem when you're trying to stop drops with air, you don't know where it's gonna drop, and you have to try to predict it, and you can't really, so.
You gotta have a spread, you gotta make a line. You gotta make a line, that's the only way.
Yeah, but then if you make a line, and he sends all his air units on part of the line, he kills you there, so it's like really annoying to try to... But yeah, anyway, they left Kenzie alone for so long, and now he's just killing everyone. He just grew out of control.
And it's GG. Wow.
So Protoss wins. All 3 games, or Protoss random, in parentheses, Protoss, I guess.
That is showing off, man. PP against ET is by far the hardest, and they just proved it, that it's maybe not. But yeah, that's definitely, if there is a manual how to play double P, that's how you do it. Especially games 1 and 3 on game 3 on Sparkle. That was really good. But I really liked your comment early on when you were saying how Terror was making the Wraiths and then Babo was making drones. Like, they were not synchronized, and I think you just hit the nail right on the head with that comment. They were not on the same page. I would have preferred to see lesser economy from Babo and more mutas, and really strike at the time that they needed to at TT1's Nexus, and maybe they would have done it more decisively and made it a lot tougher. Because once you win air and you have air superiority, then Kenzie can't just send the dropship to that middle base to take a third base. Like, you prevent that. As hard as it is to see everything, they will prevent it, because that's what tends to happen, where, you know, you're not as focused on one thing. Once you take that out, then it's like, it's much harder to have that liberty to take more bases. So yeah, I think the strength that they had in game 2, Jiren and Terror, where they were both aggressive and they, you know, put the pedal to the gas. I think if they both were on the same page in game 3, I think they would have had a better shot, obviously. But yeah, really hands off to to TT1 and Kenzie for going for that riskier playstyle, but knowing where they needed to be at a certain point and what they needed to do after that. Just purely great execution.
Yeah.
I'll defer to vODdy. I'm good.
I think if we're ready, I'm ready to go into the next game, which is going to be Bonif Siki versus Hisup and Nubish.
Okay. Yeah, let's do it.
Alright, so what races have we ended up with? I think Bonif and Shiki are playing their mains, so they're going to be Protoss Zerg. And we got Bonif actually we got Nubilish at the top left as a Protoss. And his teammate is Hisup here at the other top as a Zerg. So it's going to be a Zerg Protoss mirror, top versus bottom right here. Siki, of course, at the bottom right. His teammate Bonif at the bottom left. So top versus bottom, Zerg Protoss mirror. Pretty conventional racial setup, I would say.
Yeah, we got a mirror matchup here on Paradiso, top versus bottom. Yeah, kind of like the first series that we casted today between Andy and Biggie against Izu and Wave. A lot of ZP versus ZP there. So we're having that now. It'll be interesting to see, kind of like that first matchup, if the Zergs are going to go for more of like a traditional style. I do think Zeke likes to make Lings in this matchup, so we'll see. No, that's just a straight 9 pull. Yeah, so that could still be Ling. While Hisup or Hisup is going 12
something. We'll see.
12 something. Yeah.
I mean, a hatch first would be crazy, but he might be going 12 actually. But looks good. Damn, dude. I mean, okay, like 12. Is he gonna expand, dude? No, surely not. Okay, at least, yeah, he's not totally insane. At least, okay.
I mean, this is kind of still aggressive. I would have done the second hatch underneath my main.
Right, yeah, even this is like crazy.
Do it on the ramp. But 9 pull Zeke.
But let's see, is it going to be speed or lair? That's a big question. Because if it's speed, and he goes for the enemy Zerg, I don't know, that could be risky.
Zeke is going to make the speed. He knows his advantage with Ling speed.
He wants speed, yeah.
And he's going to go mass, yeah. I mean, this is typical Zeke. They play this style. It's a hard style to play against.
It's a bit of a skate check style, I think, where it's like 2 gate 9 pull speed. It's like, are you decent at 2-2? If not, you just die.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a test.
Alright, so Bonif and Zeke, bottom team, moving out now. Looks like they're going to go for the enemy Zerg. Now, they haven't scouted yet, so it's a bit fortunate, actually, that he happens to be sending his Lings here. Because, of course, you really want to go for the Zerg with this build order setup, right? It's kind of just a build order win, actually.
Oh, this game's over.
I gotta say, though, Zeke went for a standard build, and Hisup took a massive risk, and it didn't pay off.
It's an unnecessary risk. It's better if you want to have an economic start, just go 11 hatch and make your second hatch underneath your main. And if it's time pull, just make a sunken. At least you don't die.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely dead now. Like, I know there's a Zealot here too to help him, but the stealings can just harass the drone line so much. The damage accumulates because of loss. Okay, he's actually taking this fight. I don't know why. He can. Okay, killing some Zerglings, that's good. He's killing the slow links. Now he can avoid the Zealot. And, I mean, Zeke is known for his Zeke links, right? Bonif even shows up with the Zealot of his own to help out. So...
No, he's just a master with his links. Absolute master.
Yeah, so, I don't know. 12 match getting punished by a standard build, you know. Greedy.
Oof. That one hurts. That one hurts. But yeah, sometimes in 2 versus 2, if you feel like your competition is just so overwhelming, you tend to want to cut corners and take risks. But in that case, obviously the risk didn't pay out. So we'll see what happens here in game 2. But gotta be kicking yourself a little bit if you're Hisup and Nubilish there for taking that line.
All right, let's see what they got planned for the next game. They know their opponents are CP, so there's no random shenanigan or anything like that.
Hisup and Nubilish, they're NA. They're the NA 2 vs 2 team. They're quite good. They grind very hard. I want to see them play a less risky build, and I want to see them go toe to toe here and leave it to more strategic things versus just blind luck. Not luck, but you know, just build order loss there. Yeah. You know, let's hopefully they don't go for something as risky. All right.
Well, let's find out. Looks like we're gonna go through again.
All right, let's get into it.
All right. So at the top right here, we do have Ziggy as the server, and his teammate across the map is Bonnet, the green Protoss. So another cross map setup. We got Hyssop as the Zerg in the top left, and his teammate Nublish as the Protoss in the bottom right. So cross map mirror here on Fighting Spirit. First choice is going to be probably 2-gate from Protoss, that's the most standard, but Zerg has a few options. They could go, you know, 9 pool, layer, like with speed, 9 hatch for like maximum ling span is another option.
Right.
You see an Overlord, so doesn't look like there's going to be a 9 hatch at least. Overlord or something.
Please make a pool. Please make a pool.
At least a 12, right?
Please make a pool.
Well, we're going to find out soon enough.
Oh, Ziki made an Ovi as well. Okay.
Yeah, so mirror builds so far.
Yeah.
I'm expecting to see 2 more drones here. And then I have to imagine a pool is going to come down.
Interesting.
Okay, I see the money building up, and I don't see... Okay, there we go. I was a bit worried there for a second. So 12 pool for both Zergs.
Okay.
And the expected 2-gate. If you're not going to go 2-gate here, then you're doing some sort of like photon cannon fast reader shenanigan, which...
You know, you've been making that comment a lot during this cast with the cannon and the reaver. You must really have like a scarring traumatic experience.
Well, I mean,
against some Protoss that hid behind cannons and reavers. Was his name Bonnet by any chance?
It's actually the way I played it. Me and my friend, we got pretty high, and I think I played like an off-meta style.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's actually good or if nobody knows how to play against it only, but it worked for us. So anyway, hatch at the ramp for CQ, which is pretty standard, and looks like hatch at the ramp for Nublish also, or Hyssop, sorry, also.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, so both Protoss players doing a good job of seeing what's going on. They're going to investigate what these eggs are. At present, there's been nothing but drones, so they're kind of investigating. Meanwhile, both Protosses are sending their Zealots out. Looks like Bonnet is going towards the Zerg, whereas Nublish is going towards his Zerg as well.
So sending these Zealots out, a bit of a noob question, but like, okay, why don't you just camp your ramp? Is it because your Zerg allies got to get 2v1 if you do that?
Yeah, I mean, you know, the Overlord's sitting there. If you're camping the ramp, you're showing that you're at least camping the ramp, right? At the very least, you don't want to show that. So if you want to camp, you can keep that Zealot sort of down the ramp away from the site.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of reasons. Like, you don't want to show it. That's a big reason.
Yeah, also the Zealots can't really counterattack as well, so you might as well go help your Zerg, because if you can't, your Zerg ally is gonna die. I see that now.
I mean, Bonnet is very close to this Zerg, so they can counterattack, and this counterattack might actually just win the game right here. I mean, they're getting up this ramp here, and Hyssop needs to do a better job of stuffing this ramp. He can't allow so many units to get up the ramp here. Oh man, he's gonna have to pull drones. He's gotta pull drones. That Sunken needs to live. He needs to pull drones.
But it's not going to. It's gonna come out at 1 HP and get insta-killed.
Oh man.
So it looks like Bonnet actually is trying to help with the Zealots. So I guess this is why you just send your Zealot out immediately, because like you're either gonna attack or you're gonna defend, I suppose, or counter. Like you're gonna do something with it, because there seems to be like a pre-sunken time in Zerg where it's like you want to force the enemy Zerg to build Sunkens because it costs drones.
Right.
But then if they don't have them in time, you just kill them. You know?
Yeah, and yeah, choosing to help here. I mean, sometimes when you counter the Zerg, so instead of the Zealots being here, those Zealots are at the Zerg. It can force the Zerg to at least, in this case, Ziki, not have full rally towards the opposing Zerg like this. But to help here, cross map, long distance, not the best choice. You know, early game flow was drone, and all of a sudden lings were being made, and then Zeke and Bonnet just sort of smell blood and water.
One run, dude.
Yeah, this is rough.
One run remaining. Now, if your ally is dying this hard, you'd better have rushed tech so you can kill somebody, but they didn't even, so they're just actually dead.
Yeah. GG called there.
Brutal.
Little bit of outclassed by Bonnet and Zeke, but good effort there from Hislop and Nublish. Just not their day today.
So I guess what we can learn from that game is if you're just going to spam tier 1 units, you have to use them immediately because you're not gaining any value by sitting there with them, you know?
Right, right.
And in 2v2, when you can 2v1 somebody, like it's such a dynamic
yes.
game mode, like you have to be doing stuff. You can't... I mean, if you're not going to be attacking, you'd better be like ready to 1v2 and teching faster or something. You know, you got to be creating value at all times.
Exactly. Exactly. Yep. Yeah. So, is that it? Do we have more games to watch?
That was quick. We do have one more. Oh, whoa! I see a certain player with a certain name on the card.
What the heck? Right? Who is that?
I think he's like your long lost twin or something. Like he stole your name.
Well, whoever that is, looks like we'll be watching him play, and it looks like he's allying Rancor, and they're against ProBall and Laydig.
All right, Banana. That's an interesting nick. That's not what he's most known for, is it?
Who?
Well, I mean, I'm looking at the card here, and it says Banana.
Banana.
That's an interesting nick. I've never seen that before, but I like that he's playing Protoss too, the banana colored race.
Yeah, Banana is a game is a very good NA player, strong player. But
cool.
What are we watching here? Oh, who's our next? Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, that's the one. Sorry. Yeah. I was reading. I was reading the other card with the.
No, that was yesterday. That was yesterday.
I know. I'm sorry. I brain farted. But okay. I am ready to go into the next game. Or
All right. All right, then let's do it.
All right. So how are you going to accommodate this? It's going to be a little like I'm going to interview you about your thoughts during the game.
No, I think I should keep my mouth shut.
All right, I'll do it. Got it.
Okay.
All right, well, let's go into the game then. All right, so who do we have here? We got Lay at the top. Laydig as the purple Protoss. Oh, by the way, this is the Parallel Android 2v2 league. So it's a 2v2 version of the classic World Cyber Games map.
Yeah, so this is a qualifying match. No, not a qualifying match. This is the first round out of the losers bracket. So all the games that we casted so far were all from the winners bracket. This is a losers bracket match because yesterday Rancor and I fell to Nana and Linden. So this is actually a losers bracket match between JIRAIYA, between myself and Rancor, and ProBall and Laydig. So that's why the first game is on a different map. It's Paranoid Android. To me, this is like a Python. Like to me, it's just Python.
Right.
Plays very much like Python. I'm Terran in blue, and my ally is Rancor, Zerg in red, and we're against ZP. Zerg is ProBall, yellow, and Lay is Protoss, purple in the top position here. 12 o'clock.
Right, so it is right versus left, and we'll notice that the Zergs are very close to their opponents.
Yeah.
Which, you know, so the spawns really play, just like in Python, play a large part in how the game turns out. Now, in Zerg Terran versus Zerg Protoss, which spawns do you think the Zerg Terran team wants to get in a map like this?
Good question. So I hate every single spawn on this map. I veto Python. I don't like Python. And the reason for that is what you just said. When I have a Zerg next to me, that means that the mutas are literally my backyard, which means I need to make turrets. And if I make turrets, I have delayed everything else. So I don't like this map for that reason. But in terms of like spawning position, to be real honest with you, I haven't studied it enough. To me, every single position is tough
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, like turret wise, I guess I don't like 12. For some reason, I don't like 12. But you're a Terran 1-on-1 player. What do you think is the best spawn for Terran?
I'm thinking the best spawn is when you spawn close to your allies, so that you get more time.
Yeah.
Like,
Better answer.
that's
Better
what
answer.
that's what I like. It's like when we're getting into the minutiae of like which spawn is better turret placements, I'm like, yeah, that matters. But what I really care about is like, do they spawn into my base? You know.
Are you sure you don't play 2 vs 2, Body? You think like a 2 vs 2er.
Yeah, I mean, it's all StarCraft really. It's all the fundamentals.
Yeah, right.
So you're going bio here. That's standard against EP. Like, it's kind of difficult to squeeze out mech because you just give up so much map control while you're going for that, right?
Yeah, I mean, I like bio against EP. I just like vessels. I like vessels.
Yeah.
I'm a big vessel guy. I think vessels have good casting abilities against both Zerg and Proton.
Exactly. They're really good because they're good against the Mutalisks.
Yeah.
And if it goes to late game, they're good against the Templar too.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're going mech, it's like Goliaths are okay against Zerg, but kind of trash against Protoss, right?
Exactly.
And Tank Vulture's kind of trash against the Zerg. So
yeah.
And we got the 2v1 attempt here. Sunken about to finish for Ranker. Oh, he's got one in the back too, so he should, if he can block these links from getting in, he should be okay.
Yeah, really good
drone wheel here.
Good patience. A lot of overwhelming numbers here.
Yeah, whenever you can absorb attack 1v2 and you don't even need help to survive, that's like such a chat move actually, and you get really ahead by doing that. So, I mean, we got the Terran here, a certain player named JIRAIYA, who should be having Stim. Okay, yeah, that's the photon cannon that I was talking about. So, yeah, Stim should be.
Oh yeah,
you're
going to see photon cannons this game. So this is where you're going to see a lot of those like probes being sent to the Zerg, making pylons and cannons, while Zerg makes a layer. You see that more standardly in DP versus ZT.
Right. Yeah. So pretty good strat actually, I have to say, from the left team, where like you attack the enemy Zerg, so he has to make Sunkens, so you get that tech advantage. Because if you get Mutalisks first, you could possibly kill the enemy Zerg, and then you know that your Zerg is going to be weak from that, so you just get a cannon to compensate.
Exactly.
You know, like the classic cannon into faster tech strategy.
Yep.
So you're going to have to deal with Mutalisks eventually, and I mean, you do have Marine Medic. You could theoretically defend your ally, but then he could just send his Mutas to you, and they do spawn like in your base, so.
Yeah. Yeah, so my mindset here is probably my ally just got pretty heavily harassed. Mutas are about to pop any second. There's not much I could do in terms of killing and ending the game, but maybe I can go give some support to my ally against those Mutas to allow them to continue to drone. I try to make a third rack to continue the production here. Because my ally is going to be struck on making drones for a while, I want to have presence on the map as well as defense against early Muta pressure. So electing to be more macro focused and getting more units.
Yeah, I think you have to, because the photon cannons on the ramp are just way too strong against bio. There's no way you can kill anyone. Yeah. So you have to macro at this point. And I'm expecting, like, the one thing you're going for you though is that at least it's one hatch Muta, which means the amount of turrets you have here should be enough.
Yep.
But where do you go from here? Like, do you actually try to expand, or?
No, to me, like expanding to me in this spot is not applicable because it's just going to make me too thin. I'm already sending a designated group to my ally. I'm trying to support the coverage in my middle line here.
Yeah, you probably need vessels first before doing that, right?
Yeah.
To just shovel in Mutas.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you have a Protoss. I mean, Protoss has built a lot of cannons, so he slowed himself down, but eventually he's got to get running too. Well, okay, Muta is dying there, so that's pretty sweet.
Some drunken Mutas there. So this guy, Pro Ball, he's also an old school 2 vs 2er, very good. Sometimes he can get nervous in these spots. That might be one of those moments, but yeah, he does a good job. I respect his Muta micro. He does a really good job harassing just in general. So I add that second turret. I make a third turret, really respecting his ability to harass me. Right now, my mindset is just continue to make units, get up the vessel, don't take harassment, and focus your Mutas. I mean, your bio at your ally as well, just in case those Mutas decide to pivot.
Oh, this
but here,
move, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you should be able to hold this, because slow zealots. Yeah. Okay. So I mean, the terrain that's pretty good. You do hold. I think if anyone's going to expand right now, it has to be the left team. It has to be Provo and Leidig, because they do have so much map control with the the Mutalisks. Where it's like, if you ever try to go kill the expansion, he could counterattack either your base or your allies' base, because, you know, his only anti-air. I mean, he's got some supports now, but his only anti-air for a while was those Marines.
Right. Yeah, so that early pressure to me, I was able to hold it a lot more comfortably because I went for the 3-rack, I had the production, and now my ally is up to 17 drones, right? So he's back in the game, he still has my initial group of MM, we repel this attack here, he's making an Aspire, so so we definitely did a good job droning up and getting back into this game.
Yeah, and we have to also keep in mind that this is a Zerg expansion on the way, not a Protoss expansion, so it's actually not as scary as you might think, especially when Zerg just go Mutalisks, which of course they do 90% of the time in 2v2.
Right.
Because you have a Starport on the way, and the Starport, it kind of wrecks Mutalisks safely, you know, if you get to that point, so... the Reaver drop though, oh yeah, so obviously the classic cannon into fast take. This could have gone much worse. Actually, I don't know why he's pulling back. He's waiting for a second Reaver, maybe? Because we have like 5 Marines only. 2 Reavers, yeah, so this could be really scary with the double Reaver coming in. Only a few Marines to defend.
Yeah, I agree. They probably they probably could have softened up those edges a little bit more, but it looks like they're gonna go for it again here.
Coming in with the Mutalisks. Okay, I don't. A little bit indecisive, maybe. Like, they have the cannons against counterattacks, so they don't really have to fear. He's gonna go for you instead now. Interesting choice. Reavers, of course, dominate bio, and you're basically on your own because Ranker has some, scanners. So I guess that's a valid choice too. Actually, interesting to posture as if you're threatening the zone, provoke Terran to move out, and then attack the Terran. Not a bad choice, actually.
Yeah, that definitely was a good choice by that. Killing my entire army. I have nothing but a handful of Marines left. Tough spot here.
So yeah, Dragoon Reaver, kind of a classic 2v2 comp to go for.
It's worth noting my ally has mutas.
Yeah, okay. I was just about to say, like, Ranker's mutas should be coming up any second now, and you can go Dragoon Reaver if your Zerg ally can help with the anti-air. But Pro Ball, getting a little bit over eager, attacking, and not defending his ally, so that's a lot of probes dying for Lady. And okay, if Ranker in the air battle here, you could save this. You haven't taken any SCB damage yet, so if you clear this up, you're in a fine spot actually. Mutas coming in, taking out the Reaver, and yeah, pretty sick. I can't tell who has more Mutas though. It's so hard to say.
I think Pro Ball is preemptively getting ready to split against Vessels, but little does he know the Vessel's not out yet, so... Okay, definitely more Mutas from Pro Ball.
Yeah, definitely. What do you think about like turning around and going for the drone line of Ranker right now, immediately?
Yeah, and the Marines can sort of cut them off. Definitely, that could be a play. I think the confidence level in my allies, these Marines are not attacking. I remember in this spot I was like spazzing out.
Yeah. Interesting micro where you gotta like the T melee micro where like you gotta synchronize with your ally, because like either one of you would lose alone, so you have to kind of synchronize the anti-mutant micro at the same time. But I think you have enough Marines now where you could survive on your own.
Yeah.
Maybe it's on the edge. Kind of hard to see.
No, definitely.
Yeah.
Probably an overstep here from Pro Ball.
Okay, he's counting. Oh, this is so good, dude. Classic CVC style. When the mutas aren't at home, you snipe the expo. And he's got more mutas at this point, so a little bit of an overstep there. I really think like he could have turned around and went for the drones because everything was to the left. So if you're getting chased by an inferior Mutalisk count, because you know he didn't have as many, there's really nothing you can do to. Like there were barely any Marines left in Ranker space, right? after that first attack.
Or he can just do this and just go Protoss and snipe him, knowing that he's got the air superiority. I got a vessel here just in case to kind of back him up against any mutas that would come support. But here, Proball, knowing he's kind of out of position, he needs to make something happen. But
yeah, I think Proball's getting outmaneuvered by Rancor. Rancor's mutas can always, on Zergs even, finding better spots to be in. Sometimes. Oh, this is pretty sick too. I gotta say, Rancor took a beating early, but he really came back later in this game.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I think the response that all of his reactions to them putting so much pressure on me is what probably got us to win this.
Core dude sick already. So now, again, Rancor's mutas should be able to clean up Proball's mutalisks and the Reavers too. So you're running away with some SCVs. Like the more SCVs you can save here, the better. And you're not really losing too many, it looks like, so.
Yeah, just perfect play from Rancor there.
Dude, okay. The photon cannon into fast textile, it almost worked. And they had a few chances to win with it. But I don't know, they just got outmaneuvered tactically, like.
I agree with you. They should have been more decisive with that first Reaver. They could have got a lot more done, I think. It was only 5 Marines, but...
Well, I gotta say that, like, great players steal games. Like, when you're playing a good player and you get ahead, they still somehow manage to win. You know what I mean? Like, have you ever played against, like, a pro gamer and you're like, okay, this is my chance. But they just make you, like... they just make you play worse, you know? And they still win.
Yeah, that's the trauma that I was speaking to before. And the player was not a pro, but still Bonnet. Bonnet does that to me all the time.
Yeah, so you know what I mean.
Yeah.
That was a sick game, dude. I hope... Let's see what happens in game 2. If you're ready to go for it.
Alright, let's get into it.
Alright, so no more Python-esque shenanigans with the close air. We have good old fighting spirit. And looks like we got, okay, Proball and Leydig, or... Yeah, we got Leydig up at the top right. It's Protoss, and his ally Proball is at the top left. So we got top versus bottom, Zerg Protoss versus, I imagine, Zerg Terran from the enemy. So this is Rancor at the left, that's the Zerg, bottom left. And yeah, IRK dash, I'm JIRAIYA, past the orange Terran at the bottom right. So ZTZP, basically like the 2 standard teams against each other, right? Because like ZP is one of the standard teams, and ZT is the other standard, right?
Yeah, this is probably the most typical or standard matchup, 2 versus 2. ZT versus EP.
So overall considered like basically a 5-5 matchup, I have to imagine, between these 2 configurations, right?
Yeah, I would say so. Probably the most fun to watch and cast, in my opinion, because it's so dynamic. But one of the tougher matchups. There's a lot of things as Terran that you gotta do against Protoss, right? Like last game didn't really get there, but like, you know, vessels, you gotta irradiate, you gotta EMP, you gotta do a lot of things with your bio.
Yeah, spreading them against Scarabs and or Storm.
Yeah, High Templars, Reavers, not my friends. That's why I have a Zerg ally. I really, you know, my playstyle against EP is really just team play. I want to do something about the mutas, I want to do something about the anti-muta stuff like DA, things like that, and I want my ally with his mutas to kill my enemies, High Templars, Reavers, etc.
Yeah, so we do have a 2 gate starting off from the top team, Ley and Proball. Now this doesn't quite tell us yet what they're going for. We also have a 9 pool, should be speed or 9 pool speed, there we go. So 9 pool speed, is that like an aggressive opener? Do you think they're going to go for like 2 gate mass out plus speeding?
Yeah, 9 pool speed means I want to take control of this game early, and if I see an opening, I'm going to take it because I'm getting link speed. So in this case, Ley is scouting out the build of my ally with his probe. He sees that my ally went for an overpull and went for delayed gas, which means his speed is going to be delayed.
Yeah. And he can't really get sunken in time for this, so this creates a 2v1 timing, for sure.
Yeah, but one-on-one, ZVZ, my ally has the numbers. What makes it complicated is when Zealots are into play. So here, Ley is starting to shift down towards my ally. The first Zealot is going to be there momentarily. So once speed does kick in and that first Zealot enters this sort of terrain, that's where sort of the action starts. But right now the action is already starting, and my ally is trading well here one-on-one, but...
Oh no, we let him in.
You let him
in?
No,
okay, not quite. No. But here comes the Zealot, but there's no sunken yet. So we do see some Marines coming out. But like Terran before Spin, like Marines are kind of bad. Like they just kind of die to everything. Right. But you still have to do something. You still have to try to help your ally.
Yeah.
Do you think you should have made a sunken like at the edge before the second hatch? Do you think that would have been a good idea?
You don't have to. I think trading one for one basically. Sunken will come up. Losing a drone here in the mineral line, not the worst situation here. Still haven't punched speed, so there's no follow-up really. So the idea is just to survive. I'm trying to send some Marines here.
There's going to be a huge power spike when you get Stim. You're going to have uncontested map control, and Protoss might have to cannon up again just to survive by the time that happens. And one Marine, two Marines even on the ramp is huge. Now he's basically safe forever, I have to imagine. It's going to be hard to 2v1 him now with that sunken in the back too. They're still trying, but I don't know. Like one way to carry games in 2v2 is actually to absorb attacks. I don't know if he's going to be able to absorb this though.
Oh, there's a Zealot still in Rancor's main. Oh, they breached the sunken.
Damn, I can't believe this is working actually. Damn, they just really rammed it in.
Yeah, this is a result of one-to-one trading. When you're my ally in this spot and you're trading 1-for-1 against the 9 pool, then once that Zealot gets there, you have nothing else to exchange with it. And then he's already got speed, Mortlings will come. It just becomes an unfavorable just numbers game at that point. So when you're on top of the map, you obviously, not map, when you're on top of the ramp, you obviously have an advantageous position. You want to trade better than 1-to-1.
Yeah, exactly.
You want to trade better than that. Then you can afford not to make that early sunken. But GG.
Right. So he was like doing a build that was like on the edge of micro, right? Where what you have to do is like, it's kind of hard actually, but I want to explain the micro here, where you want to stand on top of the ramp so that one more of your links can attack against his. So it's like 4-on-3 or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's a very precise spot to stand in to get that to work. So it isn't easy.
Yeah, ideally you want to have, like against Zerglings, you want to get 2-to-1. So if you want to get two Zerglings attacking one Zergling. It's hard to do that obviously for each situation, but you want to make your arcs so that you're having those types of exchanges. Your goal is to get 2-to-1. Against Zealots, the goal is you want to have 3 Zerglings attacking a Zealot. Those are like the favorable numbers, and then if you can have that perfect concave above your ramp to do that, then it's like, okay, I have all these lings being reinforced, I'm holding this line, my second hatchery is up, now let's make our sunken. But it takes a lot of micromanagement to get to that sort of sweet spot where you're holding and you're able to get that sunken without having to make it too early.
Yeah, and there's also micro for the enemy trying to go up the ramp. Like, if you're good at maintaining formation, then it's not actually physically possible to do 2-to-1. The best you could get is like 4-to-3, or even 3-to-3 sometimes, if depending.
Yeah. So at this level, these guys all very high level. That you're going to see a lot of that sort of maneuvering, repositioning types of things on the ramp, and it's always fun to see.
Right. So match point for the set. Let's go into the last game.
All right, so it's worth noting, losers of this match go home. They're out of the tournament. This is a losers bracket match, so all marbles on the table for this one.
Okay, Paradiso again, which is essentially a Dante's Peak remake. And,
right.
We have Probo as the top left zone. His teammate Ledig is to the left, so it's left versus right. Zerg product to the left. And then we got, of course, Rancor, so Zerg at the bottom right, and a certain JIRAIYA at the top left. Top right. So, Terran Zerg, non-cross spawns. Now, do you prefer close spawns with your ally or cross spawn with your ally as Terran Zerg?
Close spawn, because I want to have the option to help him or break him. Whereas cross map, I feel like I don't have a choice where I need him to survive and I need to maybe try to exploit a counter, but it plays more counter versus help. So I always want to be closer to my ally to be able to support him. That's always my preference.
Yeah, so I mean, that early, like, I mean, Terran is weak early before the power spike of either the first Vulture or Stim, depending on the matchup. And that just gets exploited even harder when it's cross map, I have to imagine, with the early mobility, the counter attacks and stuff like that.
For sure, for sure.
So again, Probal going for an earlier gas, and Ramper going for hatch first. So was that an 11 hatch right there?
Yep, 11 hatch in base.
Which is a little bit safer than 12 hatch, of course, and it's not on the ramp or anything, so this is the safest way to go hatch first, unless you're going 9 hatch. But 9 hatch is like a crazy speedling spam all in. This is more of almost blocking that already, usually.
Yeah, that would have been big to block that. Every second that you delay that pool is a big delay, because obviously you went hatch first. But the mindset here that Rancor and I had was, let's get these guys to mid game and let's drown them into the late game kind of situation. Let's win mid game, and if it gets to late game, let's win it late game. But let's get to mid game kind of mindset. So that's why we went for the super sort of safe build here. Because my allies spawn below me, no matter what they do, whether they go all in or what have you to put that aggression to my ally, because he's so close to me, I can help him too. So that was our mindset. Let's win this mid game.
Right. Now, an 11 hatch 2v1, I mean, it's going to be rough for sure, but it's definitely doable. Especially because it's not on the ramp, right? So they're not even going to go for it, actually. They're switching to go to you, but you have a link. Isn't that a link type wall? It's looking like it. I'm not sure.
The left side of that barrack, believe it or not, it's so funny to me, because usually a Marine is a good test because it's the same size.
Yeah, it's one of those. Yeah.
But a Marine can't get in, but Zerglings can. But it's tricky because you have to almost micro pivot.
I know, yeah. But this is still the wall, because it's still only one link at a time. So even this, even though it's not totally tight, it's very safe.
Yes.
And we already have sunken, so really the only advantage that the left side has, a Probal and Lady, has to be like the faster pick. Like they're going to have Mutas first, basically.
Right.
Other than that, I think you're getting away with a more economic opening here.
Yeah, if they're making it as many units as they are, they kind of have to do something with it.
Oh, so they want a cannon contain? Is that what this is?
Looks to be it. When they don't have full vision on Rancor, they're kind of in the unknown. But
why would you make a cannon here? I mean, clearly Rancor's not going to expand at this point. So why would you go for a cannon?
It's a good question. That wall does very well against Zerglings.
Oh yeah, okay, I guess so. So it's basically containing the Zerglings for like complete and utter map control.
Yeah, right.
And then behind that, maybe you expand, or I'm not sure what the plan is, but okay, I get what they're doing here actually. Because the thing is, like, your opponent Zerg doesn't have tech; he only has links. So if the only thing he has is Zerglings, and you can contain that, well, then you're putting him out of the game for a long time.
Exactly.
So that's why the cannon containment actually makes some sense.
Yeah, and it's worth noting, we don't know that they're doing that. Like, we
literally
don't know that they're doing that until, like, this moment right here.
Yeah, when he tries to break out. So he's just like, oh yeah, I have so many links, like, this is my advantage. I got 2 hatch against 1, I'm making links, and then it's like, oh snap, I can't do anything.
Yep. Yeah, because even if there were like 6 Zealots there and no cannon, you're just thinking, okay, I'm just going to drone drill that, and I'm going to break out my mass lings. But for there to be cannons there too, it's like, I don't think that's going to happen.
And at this point, I don't think you can even break him out, because you're going to get 2v1.
Exactly.
The cannons are there, and...
Yeah, so here, Lei just continuing to make Zealots. He's getting his tech up here as well. But yeah, you got to think, Zerglings and Zealots are out there somewhere, because you're not going to use all that to contain your link. Yeah,
that's cocky, dude.
Yeah, I think they just want to confirm the number of Zealots.
Right, and
see what the layer timing is.
Yeah, he would love to see whether there's a layer on the way or not, but he's not going to be able to, though. But what I'm really scared of is like a Reaver plus Mutalisk 2v1 on either one of you right now, because you're so isolated.
Well, yeah, the game might get there, but what I'm thinking about this spot is I don't want to lose all of my army to what's out there. Right now, we're in unknown. So
you need cannon.
Yeah, one of the things that I stress as a Terran for my Zerg ally is to find out what's going on the map. But when your ally is
sweet, actually.
Yeah, that was a good OV pull there. But right now, I'm very worried about what's out there, so that's why I'm kind of gingerly moving around. I'm not on 3 rack, I'm only on 2 rack, so I am worried about what's out there, and I don't want to. If I lose my army, we lose this game. So
yeah, for sure. And there's no way for you to scout anything. Like it could be DT, it could be rear.
And the other thing too is they can just go attack my ally here as well, and my ally needs to be prepared for it too. So it's kind of a fine balance of getting up to tech, but also having enough stuff so neither of us just die to an A move, because we don't know what's going on. And that's not typically how you want to play 2 versus 2. But the way that our build was and their response to it, it was a smart decision by them to do what they did, and we need to, as a result, be cautious here.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the decision to expand, I think, is good, because that is a way to exploit, the containment of one of the enemies. They went through Mutalisks, they had a cannon contain, and we do see that the expansion at the mid left from the Zerg. So, but yeah, I mean, you gotta be like, you can't really scan because it could be DTs, and then you're giving up all map control forever if you blow your scans.
I did scan Protoss like 15 seconds ago just to kind of see what his tech was. So I know that there's a lot of Zealots, and I know the Templar Archives is delayed. We saw the Citadel. So because we knew that there were a lot of Zealots out, I figured he'd get the speed. So right now I'm just thinking I don't want to get backstabbed in my main by Muta, so I want to have enough stuff there. And I don't want to breach, I don't want to have my wall breach. So I kind of have my army next to each other, but also positioned so that if I get hit from either side, I can maneuver.
Yeah.
But again, I'm not confident until I have the equalizer, which is the vessel. Once I have a vessel, then I feel like I can fight.
Yeah, because then you can evade it, and Muta's coming in, you're not going to die to any DTs. This is sick, though. Okay, you barely get the ramp, that's huge.
Barely.
I mean, that could have been death right there.
Barely. So that's exactly what they were looking for, and exactly what I was afraid of, which is why I had my army the way that it was. But yeah, that can end the game right there if you're caught with your pants down.
Yeah, I think you were caught with them a little bit down, but not the whole way. So you managed to pull the pants up and stop peeing just in time.
Yes. I realized I was in a public space.
Yeah, that police officer was like, "Yeah, can I help you, sir?"
Uh-oh. Not again.
Alright, so finally you're going to be able to have some Mutalisks of your own.
Yep.
A Ranker is going to be finally taking the Mutas and breaking out here.
Yeah,
but we got expansions from both opponents, so that's a little scary.
Yeah, it's kind of a strange situation, but it's kind of, you ever heard the Korean term 한방?
Yeah, I know what that means, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like you only have that timing attack. This is kind of what that is. Because it's kind of like a no-rush 10-minute game, right? Like, we really haven't done anything. They kind of did some stuff, but really haven't done anything either. So now we're kind of both swollen up, right, with our units and our tech, and now we're trying to show our swollenness.
Yeah, we got everybody expanding, except, of course, for Vanguard, who's cannon containing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to be difficult to ever solve, because, I mean, you're not going to get a tank with siege mode. I mean, that's not even, it's not really half at this point, right?
Yeah, I'm not trying to kill the cannons. My ally has Mutas now, so he's not contained anymore. But there are DAs, which we saw.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Okay, forcing the Archon. Only one cannon here, so a little bit scary since the Dark Archons aren't ready yet. They don't have energy and they don't have mainstream yet to use. I wonder if you have a Radiant at this point. Yes, big Radiant goes down. Gotta split those. Decent split, but yeah, I mean, there needed to be more cannons here. For sure, to defend this. In fact, you might even go up the Ram. This is actually really scary. Okay, here comes the, he's got mainstream at this point. There we go, big mainstream. Alright, so we're gonna clear it up, but that's a dead expansion at least. And you have yours. Damn, that's a lot of useless links with +1 even. But you're kind of up a base now. I mean, Zerg only has Mutas. You're SK Terran at this point. You don't fear that. They needed Protoss to get that expo. Because I think Zerg having an expo, it's just not as big of a deal as it would have been if Protoss had. So that timing working was a big deal. Do you think maybe they should have made a fewer cannons for the containment and more cannons to defend the expo?
I think they needed Maelstrom against those bios.
Just a little bit earlier, yeah.
Yeah, because he had 2 DAs. His intent there is to Maelstrom my bio and surround it with Zealots and Mutas and just isolate and collapse.
Nice.
But
you hit that E-Hon timing for another Korean term. Just before.
Yeah.
Really needed that.
Yeah. Yeah, so now my ally broke out by himself. He's got all of those units. Now he's just
he had too many Mutalisks,
yeah.
I mean, the enemy Zerg lost so many Zerg, right? He lost so many Mutalisks that Rancor didn't have to fear anything in it. So you could just go break it out.
Right.
So.
Yeah, that's why I like Vessel so much. I'm a big Vessel guy. But yeah, that's a great feedback from Lei.
Yeah, but it's just... damn, that's a lot of reasons to do. That was a close-ass game, I gotta say. That one time, I mean, this would be a very different game if that expansion had been...
Yeah, a totally different game. That's why we prioritize going Protoss there. GG. Welcome play.
Yeah, don't let Protoss grow out of control in 2v2.
Exactly.
It's actually disgusting, guys, if you haven't seen it.
All right, well that was a good match there too, and me and Rancor are still in it. So happy to be casting this thing from as an active participant, but I know that day will come when I'll be casting from outside, but not yet.
The farther you get in the event, the more likely you have to catch yourself too. So hopefully we can get some other commentators. Maybe Mario, it kind of knows 2v2, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Dude, is that Zero? Down at the bottom left, you see that? Do you see that Zero? I did not know that he played in this. If you look at the bottom left and you go up one card, it actually says Zero right there. That's sick, dude.
Yeah, I wonder. Yeah, I wonder what the status is of that matchup, because that's who Rancor and I have next. But yeah, Zero and Johnny. Johnny's an OG in 2 versus 2, and they're advancing here as well. And I'm eager to see the result of them versus Hysup and Nooblish. But yeah, this is kind of the status of where things are in both the winners bracket and the losers bracket. So lots of intense battles underway and more battles to come. So thanks so much for the invite again, Zero, for this. And it was very fun casting with you today, vODdy. And I took a lot of notes today, as I usually do. And any parting words here?
Yeah, I guess I can just chill the Patreon a bit. If you want to continue seeing epic StarCraft events like this, then consider supporting at, patreon.com/bombastic, I believe. That's right there at the bottom right, you can see it. We, of course, also have 1v1 events, not only 2v2.
Yeah, but we definitely need your help to make BSL 2 vs 2 Season 3. So even Season 2, we barely had enough. Last minute there, we were able to have enough and secure a Season 2. But we definitely need your help for Season 3. 2 vs 2 is a newer thing to Bombastic Starleague, and definitely would like to see it continue. And all the supporters for BSL in the 2 vs 2, definitely continue to show your support so we can continue to so that Zero and team can continue to do this and we can be a part of it. So definitely show your love to Zero in the Patreon and in the form of whatever donos or subs you can do to the channel as well. Always looking forward to seeing the support from the 2 vs 2 folks here as well.
Yeah, we've kind of been abandoned by Blizzard because they never patched in 2v2. So if you want to play 2v2, by the way, check out Shield Battery, because that's basically where people are playing that these days. But